Hi, I'm Dr. Gold.
Hi, my name is Gauri.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Is that what your friends call you, is Gauri?
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay for me to call you that?
Yes.
All right, great. So welcome to the Brain Institute.
Thank you.
Have you ever been here before?
Just on interviews.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice building.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Why do you think they call it the Brain Institute?
I assume they study brain, like the brain nervous system around here.
Like, That's a logical. Do you have any idea in medicine what are the specialties that deal with the brain?
Like the nerve?
Yeah, like what are they called? The brain doctors.
Yeah, neurologists.
That's one.
Okay.
That's a good one. How about anybody else?
That's all that I'm aware of.
Neurosurgeons?
Neurosurgeons.
Psychiatrists? Neuroscientists? That's fine. But each floor is they're represented on each floor. So, when you look fourth floor, fifth floor, that kind of thing. Okay. So, when did you decide you wanted to be a doctor?
I've always wanted to be a doctor. I grew up with a very science background. My father is a pharmacist, and he has 3 other brothers. He's the youngest of 4. And they are all spring science related. 2 of them are engineers, and one of them is a physician. And on my mom's side, her brother is a general physician. And so I've always come with a very science background. Every time they live over in India, and so every time I go visit them, then I usually go with my mom's brother, and he's a general physician working in a hospital. However, he often goes on weekends to the rural communities and gives them medical assistance, medical care. So I oftentimes go with him.
You go with him?
I go with him. And so, he just takes me along, so I don't actually do anything.
That's in India?
It's in India.
How do you get there?
A very long plane. It's almost 22 hours to plane. But yeah, very, very long.
Have you had enough? So you've shadowed them.
Yes, I've shadowed them. And then also, my sister actually has spina bifida. So ever since a young age, I've been in the hospital setting. I've seen doctors interacting with her. I've seen her go under medical treatment and care. I've seen the effect it has upon my family, her having to go through all that. And then just ever since high school, I've been actually in the hospital volunteering myself. I've volunteered in many areas of the hospital. Most recently, I'm shadowing over in the VA in the OR department. And over at Shands, I work in the nurses station. And so.
How many hours a week would that be?
Over at Shands, I work maybe like 6 hours a week.
That's great.
And then over at the VA, I try to put in at least 3 to 4 hours. Usually one whole surgery I get to watch. So
maybe you work 10 hours a week. Do you get paid?
No.
No, you don't get paid. 10 hours a week.
Yes.
And and how long is that? Is that like continuous your whole time here?
I started the VA my freshman year, and then I started Shands my sophomore year. So VA's been about 3 years. Shands has been about 2. It's been wonderful. I've done most of those 2 things over there. I tried to keep on those 2 central things because back when I was in high school, I saw other areas. Back home, we have family friends that are geneticists and also a neurologist. And so this summer, actually, I'm going to shadow with a neurologist.
Good.
To get different, and I do genetics research. So I figure I'm covering different areas in medicine.
Do you mean by back home, you mean?
I live in Miami.
In Miami.
Yeah. And so they work for Miami Children's Hospital. And so over summer, I'm going to shadow with a neurologist.
That's
who's
great.
head of his department. And genetics, I do genetics research, so I get a little bit of background there from the whole genetics side.
You do genetics research where?
I'm at UF with Dr. Mulligan.
Huh.
So.
How'd you do that?
Well, I was just looking for research one day, and I emailed a couple of professors. They wrote me back. I interviewed with them. I was particularly interested in her field because back in high school, I was actually in the IB program. And as one of the requirements, we have to write a 4,000-word essay on any topic we decide. And so my topic was genetic engineering. So I've always had a little bit of interest for genetics. I talked to the family friend who's a geneticist. I talk to her so often about her work and what she does. And so when she offered me this position in her lab, then I was thrilled and I accepted it. I've been working with her for a whole year now. I get research credits. We're talking about maybe me writing an honors thesis. And so I love it. I'm working with the ADH gene, which is for alcoholism, and tracing its effect with certain effects that come with alcoholism, just like flushing and everything. And
is that in like anthropology?
Yeah, in anthropology. Yeah, she's actually going to be. She's not moving to it, but she's, I think, a co-director with the UF Genetics and Cancer Institute that's coming up in 2006. And so.
But I mean, she's a full and famous professor here.
Yeah. She used to work for the NIH.
Yeah. Does that mean like, so it was hard to do, or you're just good at it? I mean, I've interviewed some students here who don't seem to be able to find a research lab.
You know what? Like, my friends always ask me, how did you get? And I got really lucky. I actually had 3 different opportunities to choose from before I went to research. So I actually had a choice. And everyone's like, how do I get one? And I gave them the names of people who wanted me. And I guess I'd maybe applied at a good time. Maybe just I found very interesting things that people were just looking. I got very lucky with that, and I'm glad I was lucky because I interviewed with her, and right after interview, she's like, would you like to come on? And I'm like, right then, I was like,
great.
Sure.
So
I was very excited because she's a very well-known, very renowned professor. She has many grants. Like, it's amazing to be working with such an esteemed person. So I'm very lucky.
That's great.
Yeah,
and I'm sure she wrote you a great letter of recommendation.
I have yet to ask her, but I will be asking her shortly.
It's still wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah.
So really, you had a lot of experience and understand the practice of medicine, both because of your sister and also because of all your volunteering and shadowing, which is extensive. And you have a good introduction to medical research.
Right.
You have physical experience in a lab, and you've done it for a year already. So you have all that. Now, with all that time being used, is that the reason for your C's and B's?
Well, it happened last year. It was actually a really hard year in my family. Growing up, I only knew one grandparent. My other grandparents passed away before I was born, and my grandmother just recently passed away in January. And so, watching her be sick, we flew to India a couple of times to be with her. My mom is my mom's grandmother, so she took it really hard, and just you can't describe the feeling of like watching your mother cry because she knows the last time she'll ever see her own mom, you know? And so just dealing with that was really hard. And, like, I mean...
You're not over it yet.
It just happened in January, so no.
I need Kleenex.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I feel silly. It's okay.
You don't have to feel silly. I mean, I'm trying to...
Yeah, it was very unexpected.
You want some water or anything?
It's okay. It was very unexpected. So, this summer I signed up for those classes, and I probably should have taken that many because I did not fly to India. But this semester, like, I think I've rebounded, and I'm doing a lot of this semester.
Good.
And so even that's why I kind of like took off from volunteering. Like, I didn't do it as intensive as I first started off, but I'm getting back to the swing of things academically. Everything.
You think just coming into my office is so stressful that
I think it's like a mixture.
You know what I mean?
And also the whole interview.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we try to be so friendly here. You know, there's really but you know.
Yeah, it's the whole hope of one day I'll be meeting you again, like within a year, and you'll remember me as, oh, she was like pretty good.
No, I'd recuse myself. It wouldn't happen. Don't worry. But it's important that you feel good enough to be able to interview. That there'll be more stressful times than this.
Of course.
So you just have to manage yourself and get in shape to be able to interview.
Yeah.
It's not a composure. You can't change your feelings, but you have to be in a different place mentally to be able to go forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, does it hurt your feelings when I talk about your grades?
No. I mean, it's expected to interview.
I know.
You don't see it like that hard.
Like, let's say, if you were a junior honors student applying here early, you'd probably have no grades lower than an A. And in your case, what would be your GPA, you think?
Right now, my GPA is a 3.7.
And in science?
Science, I'm down
3.0. That might be tough. And so, if I'm representing you to the committee, and there'll be 20 people looking at your record, they're going to look at your grades and MCATs. You've given me a lot to tell them about, you know, how much you'd love to be a doctor, how much research has meant to you, and how much you'd be a compassionate physician. I can do that because I appreciate that about you. But they might wonder if you could do the work. So it's good that you have more chances to take upper level courses and do well. For the MCATs, while the MCATs might not matter that much to everyone, for every applicant, if you have a 4.0 and you've published a paper in Nature, that might be different than if you have a 3.0 in science. The MCATs are going to be more important for you.
No,
So
that's actually my diagnosis for that.
So how much? What score do you think you'll get?
I'm aiming for around a 30.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking it in August.
Okay.
I've taken a prep course. And
Good.
Yeah, I've actually been preparing for it. I'm taking a couple of practice full lanes.
Good.
So.
Okay. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. You'll be an easy applicant to advocate for.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I mean it. 'Cause if you don't, so you understand the practice of medicine. Is your family like pushing you to be a doctor?
No, actually my sister's a dentist, but they're actually going between dental and law for her. And my oldest sister, who has spina bifida, she's actually, she did a degree in computers, but now she's just volunteering at a local hospital. And so, for me, they've actually been between law and medicine for me, because back in high school I was on the debate team. And they always saw passion in me, like with arguing and like debating. But medicine's always been my true passion, and they always just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
How do you like the University of Florida?
I love it here. I love it.
What's the best thing?
A big thing, of course, the Gators. Big football fan, but I really do like the research aspect of you. I'm very excited about the
Cancer,
genetic cancers here, especially because it's going to be partially genetics. So I have to say a big thing about UF is their research.
Research.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
It's one of the things that is critical. I mean, it's a research medical school,
right.
and you at least know what research is.
Like actually, from having Dr. Mulder as my mentor, I've actually been recently considering doing an MD PhD program just because I love the research so much. Like I would like to actually have a project that I carry on and get published. I would love it.
Well, I hope that happens for you too.
Thank you.
I really do. Just a couple more questions. Have you ever looked up the University of Florida College of Medicine on the web? What do you know anything about the College of Medicine's curriculum? Like how it compares to another school's curriculum?
I have a couple of friends who go to
You do?
College of Medicine.
What do they say?
They like it. They chose this over some. I forget what school he chose it over, but this was one of his first choices. He loves it. He went here for UF undergrad. He was actually one of my sister's best friends, so he was also one of my mentors throughout undergrad, picking which classes to take and everything. He loves it here. He loves it.
Do they say that the professors are accessible?
Yes. Dr. Gold.
Yeah, I can. No, it's funny, but it's a big part of the experience. I think that the students do have a lot of contact with the professors, both in research students as well as I teach neuroanatomy and a couple of other things, and we have a lot of fun with the students. So you know someone is here, so that's a good sign. And do you know, you'd probably, this is an easy question for someone like you, some of the good programs, what other schools have you thought about?
I really like USF. I thought they had a dentistry program. I went to the medical college forum that was here last year, and so I was able to check out a couple of programs. I'm a big UM fan just because it's close to home. I like a lot of research-based programs.
They have an MD PhD program at UM.
And even USF, just the way, I don't remember the specifics, but the way the curriculum was, they really broke it down to make it not so intimidating when you first enter med school that you get overwhelmed. But I know there's an option to start a summer early, and I thought that was very interesting. Kind of help things out. I think it would take biochem over the summer rather than the freshman fall. And then just out of state, of course, there's always the ideal Duke and Johns Hopkins. But just in general, I'm really looking at Florida schools. I'm really interested in Florida schools, staying in here.
Good. Well, I think that's about all I need to ask you. And good luck on your retaking of your MCATs.
Well, no, I haven't taken it.
So, Dr. Gold, what are your impressions of Gauri?
Gauri was an outstanding applicant who demonstrated a passion for practice of medicine, demonstrated a clear understanding of the impact of a chronic illness might have on a person. who had a clear understanding of a variety of different professions in medicine. She had not only thought about research, but had worked for a year in research, so had the practice of medicine and research qualifications quite clear and would be easy to advocate. She had a low GPA for University of Florida and for many of the top medical schools, and a low-ish MCAT, but compensated for that with an outstanding personality and a sense of why it was that she lost her academic focus for a while. I think if she did well on her grades that are yet to come in for this semester and improved on her MCAT score, she'd be a competitive applicant here, but would likely get into 1 to 3 medical schools in the state of Florida.